I jokingly said it earlier, but it's not a joke. The NBA was more interesting to me than the NFL this weekend. Anthony Davis played his first game in a Mavs jersey after there were protests outside the entire stadium. He looked in the first half like the best player in the history of basketball, completely dominated Houston.
Yeah.
I like his halftime stat. I'll go pull it up what his final numbers ended up being because he then ended up getting hurt. That was the irony out of it. He had let me make sure I got my minutes right here. In 31 minutes, he had 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks. Like just showing immediately of like, Dallas, this is why we traded for this guy. Look how smart we are. Look how good we are defensively. They were up by like 35 in the game, and then he got hurt, and now he's out multiple weeks with an abductor strain, and it just was perfect for an organization that traded away a guy who's too fat and can't stay in shape, doesn't want to play defense, for a guy who showed you when he's healthy, he's great, but the question is, will he ever be healthy? He's out. Dallas did ended up winning the game, though, but that was a spectacle on Saturday in Dallas.
Yeah, we'll see where he's at in about 4 weeks is what they're saying. Yeah. By the way, this is like a groin injury for those that couldn't really read it, but look, he was great against Houston. This is devastating because this was why people were like, why would you make this trade?
If he stays healthy and they win that game, they're at least off the hook for like 48 hours. They at least got a small window of like, see, this is why we did it, and instead he got hurt, and now they're right back to where they were.
You could sum that up his entire career. If he was healthy, he might have another championship ring. He's one of the more remarkable talents we've had in a long time, but devastating for them. Although I'd argue, as great as it is to get Luka, what happened with the Lakers
is devastating as well.
Well, yeah, because they've missed guys on other deadlines. Many around the league are going, why was this not done? Why was more research not done on this before it happened? And now there's a couple bigs that already came out on the buyout market that have signed with other teams.
Yeah, they've already jumped around.
I mean, you don't see trades rescinded very often.
Very rarely does this happen. Mark Williams, who was the center who went from Charlotte to L.A., the Lakers got to look at his physical, and you got to pass the physical. That's why they always say pending physical until we talk about this. That's the big step.
You don't really think about that part either.
No.
You're just like, well, they'll get through the physical. And
well, I did because this happened to the Giants. Remember when they signed Carlos Correa a couple of years ago to like a $250 million deal?
That's right.
And they had the press conference all scheduled. Everybody's all excited. And they were like, just kidding, not going to do it. Because he didn't pass his fit. Something showed up in his ankle or his back or whatever they saw. They're like, dude, we can't give this guy $200 million. Mark Williams was going to go to L.A., and then it was announced on Saturday that the trade was rescinded. The Lakers said, no, we don't want him. That didn't show up on the physical. The Hornets had to release a statement saying, we're excited to welcome Mark back to our culture. We made a difficult decision to move him, but we've always had great respect for his talent. And I don't know if there was anybody I felt worse for out of the weekend than Mark Williams, who had the idea of, I'm going from one of the most irrelevant NBA markets in Charlotte, playing for a horrible organization. I get to now go team up with LeBron and Luka and be on national television every night, catching lobs from Luka. And oops, just kidding. No, I'm not. I got to go back to Charlotte and listen to the ball rap music in the locker room after the game.
By the way, Lakers did not play Doncic or LeBron on Saturdays. The NBA picked their game up, and they still beat the Pacers 124-117.
They did.
Dalton Connect walking in. Hey, guys, how was your weekend?
Hey, good to be back. I missed you guys, man.
It's got to be a little awkward for everybody,
Incredibly
doesn't it?
awkward, dude.
Is Connect's name still on the locker, or do they have to put it back up?
I think you put him back. Do you give him the same locker or a different locker? Just slide him back in?
Same locker.
Same locker? Yeah. Nobody slid over? What if you had a good locker spot that somebody else wanted? Somebody could have grabbed
a couple
it.
Scramble phone calls to equipment managers and whatever else.
Take all those jerseys out of the trash bin.
Well, they had to make a Williams jersey for their introductory press conference.
Yeah,
and then,
did.
That's going to be where the Falcons T-shirt gets sold.
I mean, it's a devastating thing for them. Long term, the Lakers are going to be fine. They got Luka, whatever. Like that, this kills them this year
because they gave away one of their bigs. Jackson Hayes has been playing good for them, but like after him, it's Christian Wood, who I think is hurt, and Filler.
Yeah.
So they missed like Alex Lynn. Not that he's a great name, but he's a big.
He was on the buyout market.
He signed already. I think he signed with the Pacers. So you've had guys that were on the buyout market that have already signed elsewhere. They'll figure that out. I still think they're capable at their ceiling with how good Luka and LeBron are of getting to a conference finals, but I don't look at them as a team that's going to beat Oklahoma City.
No, I don't either.
And if you tell me they lose to
Denver and Jokic torches them again like he has 3 straight postseasons.
Minnesota, who just came back and beat the Blazers with playing nobody. Like if you tell me those 2 teams can beat them, I won't also blink at that. It's just kind of hilarious to watch the Lakers have to go through a rescinded trade.
Oh, it's great.
And not even going to get to it. Hubie Brown's final call really emotional. Was a Dame winning a 40-point burger. I thought they handled Hubie Brown's goodbye incredibly well.
One of my all-time favorite broadcasters. I've always loved Hubie Brown.
One of the more impactful voices in basketball history. When Breen teared up at the very end, like I'm sitting on my couch watching that, I'm like tearing up. And Jimmy Butler looked amazing.
He
with
did.
Steph Curry and the Warriors.
A motivated Jimmy Butler in Golden State.
Motivated Jimmy Butler.
An incredible stat from ESPN. Hubie Brown coached against or broadcasted games of 80% of the players in NBA history.
Yeah.
I think it's just absolutely wild. Loss in all the shuffle of this weekend too. Not that it's a big whole segment worthy, but still really cool. Do you see Dickie V was back broadcasting a game this weekend?
He got a great ovation.
That was really cool, man. That guy's been battling cancer for a couple of years. He is the face of college. He still is after all these years.
He was there to see the Dukies get upset.
And the Dukies get upset. Cooper Flag slips late in the game. The crowd rushes the field. He was there. Diaper Dandy. That was really cool too. So a lot of fun little notes out of Super Bowl weekend.
How I know you're football dirt, you just labeled it rushing the field.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did.
I'm still in football season, mind. It's not. I haven't quite fully turned the page yet.
Well, it's a good thing we've moved on, and it's time to break because we don't need to talk about how both our college basketball teams blow.
No, they're not good, Bob. Mine's sinking like a stone and probably out of the tournament at this point.
Mine's a fraud. They can't win on the road, and they can't even win at home against great teams.
Yeah,
they can't win road
St.
games.
Married,
dude.
Saturday night.
Don't let that score. By the way, for people that missed that game, God bless you.
Didn't see a second of it.
Yeah, well, they didn't get to 40 until like 3 minutes in the game.
That's what St. Mary's
St. Mary's clamped them down.
Those Australian whites are powerful, man.
They're projected as an 8 seed right now, and there are 1 seeds that are going to freak out if they get St. Mary's in the second round.
They're really
pissed.
Bennett's a great coach. They're very seasoned. They're experienced. They all know what the roles are. Disrespectful to say they're an 8 seed.
Yeah, because that. Especially
undefeated in conference play, they're like 22.
No, San Francisco got them the other night. They got them
okay.
Thursday by a point.
By 1
They had to hang on for dear life.
Yeah,
but if you only get 1 day on the second day of the Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday to try to prepare for that, because they don't play like hardly any other team in the country.
No.
Well, my team's 5th in the WCC.
Well, we had a 10-point lead on the road at East Lansing, looking like
14
Was it 14?
Couldn't miss in the first half.
I didn't realize that game was on so early, and then I realized in the second
Came
half.
back late in the Michigan game too, made it interesting.
They had a nice effort at Michigan. I mean, they played better, I would argue, the last 2 games. But moral victories don't matter when you're going to miss them.
Game tomorrow night for you.
I don't know. Is Northwestern any good?
No.
Okay.
The Blazers blew the game in Minnesota, which the Timberwolves didn't play anybody.
They did, yeah. Are we back? Are we back, baby? Are we back
like
on the tank?
What was
Robert
that,
Williams got hurt, too.
4 run or something?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I have
9 points in the fourth quarter.
I have a take that I don't think you're going to like, but I want to see what they do in the Phoenix games.
Okay.
Or the Denver games.
Denver games coming up.
Yeah.
And then we get our Luka debut
Yeah, he said Monday.
ESPN
Tonight?
picked this one up, too.
They picked this one up, too?
7:30.
Ugh, you got to watch the Jazz, though.
Ooh.